So this is the Murli of the 5th of October 1987, and the title is The Happiness, Contentment and Satisfaction of Brahmin Life. The happiness, contentment and satisfaction of Brahmin life. Today, out of all his extremely beloved, long lost and now found Brahmin children, Babdada is especially looking at the children who are filled with the speciality of Brahmin life. Today at Amrit Vela, out of all the children who are the decoration of the Brahmin clan, Bap Dada was selecting those special souls who have contentment. Today at Amrit Vela, out of all the children who are the decoration of the Brahmin clan, Bap Dada was selecting those special souls who have contentment. Those who have always been content themselves and who have always continued to give others the experience of contentment through their vision, attitude, and actions. So today, Bap Dada was threading the garland with such jewels of contentment, who constantly experienced being showered with golden flowers of contentment from Bap Dada in their every thought and word, in their relationships and connections with those in the gathering, and in their every action. Basically, Baba wants us to become a jewel of contentment. So some of us have more contentment than others. Baba is especially looking at those with more contentment. So we can gauge for ourselves how content we are really with ourselves. And not just content with ourselves, we have to make sure that we make people around us also filled with contentment. So they also constantly shower others with golden flowers of contentment. Out of all the souls everywhere, only a few such contented souls were visible. Out of all the souls everywhere, only a few such contented souls were visible. The garland that was prepared was not big. It was a small garland. While repeatedly looking at the garland of the jewels of contentment, Bap Dada was pleased because only such jewels of contentment become the garland around Bap Dada's neck. They claim a right to the kingdom and also become the beads of the rosary that the devotees turn. Bap Dada is also looking at the other children who are sometimes content and sometimes come under the shadow of the slightest thought of discontentment and then move away from it. They don't get trapped in it. So first category is of the children who are always in contentment and they're always able to shower contentment on others. And the second category is of those who are sometimes content and sometimes come under the shadow of the slightest thought of discontentment. And then they're able to move away from it. They don't get trapped in it. And the third type of children sometimes have discontentment in their thoughts. They are sometimes discontent with themselves, sometimes discontent with adverse situations, sometimes discontent because of their own fluctuation, and sometimes discontent with big and small situations. They get caught up in this cycle, then become free from it, and then get trapped again. Baba still saw such a garland. So 3 garlands were prepared. All are jewels, but you can also understand what the sparkle would be of those who are jewels of contentment and what that would be. That is what the sparkle would be of those who are the other 2 types of jewels. While repeatedly looking at the 3 garlands, Father Brahma was pleased and at the same time trying to bring the jewels of the second number garland into the first number garland. A heart-to-heart conversation was taking place because some beads of the second garland were deprived of being in the first garland due to a slight shadow of discontentment, and they had to be transformed. I'm going to repeat. A heart-to-heart conversation was taking place because some beads of the second garland were deprived of being in the first garland due to a slight shadow of discontentment, and they had to be transformed and somehow brought into the first garland. Whilst keeping each one's virtues, specialities, and service in front of him, he only said one thing repeatedly: let us bring this one into the first garland. There were just 25 to 30 such jewels about whom Father Brahma was having a special heart to heart conversation. Father Brahma said, let these beads also be put in the number one garland. However, he then smiled and said that the Father will definitely bring them into the first garland. There were also such special jewels. See? So Father Brahma said, let these beads also be put in the number one garland. However, he then smiled and said that the Father will definitely bring them into the first garland. They were also such special jewels. So which category do you think you are in? First, second, or third? So the first category you heard, total jewels of contentment. They're content themselves, but they also are able to shower contentment onto others around them all the time. So they will be in contentment and everyone around them will be content. So first category is clear. The second category is of those who have a shadow of discontentment. They become discontented for a short period of time, but they're quickly able to come out of it. The third ones are of a lot of discontentment. Sometimes have discontentment in their thoughts, sometimes they are discontent with themselves, sometimes discontent with adverse situations, sometimes discontent because of their own fluctuation, and sometimes discontent with big and small situations. They get caught up in the cycle and then become free from it and then get trapped again. They get caught up in the cycle and then become free from it and then get trapped again. Second category is where there is very infrequent discontentment, very temporary discontentment, but it's a good thing to introspect, to reflect, to check ourselves. Where are we right now? Because unless we know where we are, we cannot really take ourselves forward. You see, our XYZ coordinates have to be very clear where we are right now. That's when, like, if you are asking Uber to come to your house, then you have to give the exact location, otherwise the Uber guy will not find you. Yes, Bhupinਦਰ. So it'll be third, but I will also share something that, let's say you're making efforts, X amount of efforts. Now, X amount of efforts will give you X amount of reward. Yeah, transformation to that would be commensurate with the effort that you are putting in. But let's say you put in 2x effort from tomorrow. One has to understand that there will be a lag period between that doubling the effort and receiving double the reward. And that lag period could be days, weeks, months, and even years. And during that phase, you could slip back from second to the third. But that doesn't mean that you have gone back. You understand? Let's say you and I have to sit for a math exam. And let's say you are better at math than me. But you have a test paper which is 10 times more difficult than what test paper I get. So I score, let's say, 50 marks out of 100. And you score 40 out of 100. Yeah? So did you do worse than me? Also, you see, Baba has explained so many times that higher you go, the stronger, the more difficult test papers you'll get. Marathis have very big test papers. Sometimes this is not really straightforward as we would think it to be. There is a lot of complexity in this whole thing. All right, so let's go forward. Let's see. So Baba is saying all are jewels, but you can also understand. So we have already talked about this. So Father Brahma was pleased and at the same time trying to bring the jewels of the second number garland into the first number garden. So while such a heart-to-heart conversation was going on, one thing emerged as to the particular reason for discontentment. Since the special blessing of the confluence age is contentment, why do souls who have attained this blessing from the bestower of blessings come into the second garland? Baba is not even talking about the third garland. The seed of contentment is to have all attainments. The seed of discontentment is a lack of some physical or subtle attainment. Since it is remembered of Brahmins that nothing is lacking in the treasure store or the lives of Brahmins, why is then their discontentment? Is it that the bestower of blessings has made a difference in the blessings he gives? Or have those who have been given the blessings made a difference in what they take? What happened? The treasure store of the bestower of blessings and the bestower is full. It is so full that your dynasty lasts for 21 births. That is, the dynasty of the elevated instrument souls who have become BKs over a long period of time, and also the dynasty of the devotees continue to move on the basis of these attainments. When there is such great attainment, why would there be discontentment? Everyone has attained the same limitless treasures from the One at the same time and through the same method. However, you don't use the treasures you have attained all the time. That is, you don't keep them in your awareness. You become happy when speaking about them, but you're not happy in your heart. There is happiness intellectually, but not in the heart. What is the reason you don't use the treasures of attainment as an embodiment of that awareness? So if you have, let's say, $5,000 in your wallet, but you don't take them out to buy milk and other vegetables or fruits, then you will be hungry. Yeah. But you already have the money. You just have to be willing to take them out and use them. Yeah. All those bills, notes that you have in your wallet, you have to be ready to take it all out as needed. Not all of it out at the same time, but as much as is needed. So yeah, all these treasures of attainments have been given to us, but do we use them? You are aware of them, but you don't become an embodiment of that awareness. What a lovely Murli. The attainment is unlimited, but you sometimes make it limited. And because of this, your desire for some limited attainment deprives you of the experience of constant contentment, which is a result of unlimited attainment. So see, unlimited attainment should give us the experience of constant contentment. But what happens? Somewhere or the other, we have some desires for limited attainments. And because of those desires, we get deprived of the experience of constant contentment. Got it? This is why you experience discontentment. You then bring limitations into service because the fruit of limited desires is that you don't attain the fruit you want. The fruit of limited desires only brings fulfillment for a temporary period. This is why there is sometimes contentment and at other times discontentment. Limitations do not allow you to experience unlimited intoxication. You see, limitations will not allow us to feel the experience of unlimited intoxication clearly. Yeah, both are opposites, limitedness and unlimitedness. So if we are stuck in limited desires, then we won't experience unlimited intoxication. For a long time, we also went through these phases, I and Kanishta, that we would invite so many people for programs, just like we did for this program. I must have personally called, I don't know, 100, 200 people, invited them, but still they didn't show up. So in the past, we would feel bad about that. and how much we did, and still people didn't show up. But then we realized that by doing that, we are creating unnecessary. But then there was this realization that if I suffer right now because of what happened yesterday, how many people didn't show up, then I won't be able to continue to sustain the people who actually showed up. Or even in that moment, I've realized there was a time when I was a little upset that so many of my good contacts, I had invited them and they didn't show up. And I felt really bad. So even those people who had come there, I was not able to give them my full love. So not only do you suffer, but you also are not able to serve others. So then at some point, there was this shift that we are going to be contented no matter what. Yeah. If one person shows up, that's also great. If no one shows up, I and Kanishta will sit together, and if the senior is there, all three of us will meditate. It doesn't matter. Yeah, who comes, who doesn't come, who is able to make it, who helps, who doesn't help, who runs away, who whatever it is, there should not be any discontentment within ourselves. Because that, you see, initially that was good suffering, but after so many years of practice, this also becomes unnecessary suffering. You remember what I had talked about earlier? The necessary suffering and unnecessary suffering. So unnecessary suffering has to go away, right? But even the necessary suffering, we have to learn how to process that very quickly, that we don't suffer at all. What's the point? You got it? But also, when you make more effort, then there is more chance of discontentment. Also, you see, what happens is how much of your skin is in the game. But see, now if you want to go to the next level, what you
Yeah.
have to do is to take ownership. Feel as if next time the event happens, feel it is my event. And if I don't show up, and if I don't bring 20 people, it is my failure. How's that? You understand? Then see if 20 don't show up. So for 20, then you'll have to invite at least 5 times more, so 100 more people. And out of that, 20 show up. And if even 20 don't show up, then see the disappointment that comes out of it. So there is this ownership, but also trusteeship that has to be there. Both things have to be worked on at the same time. And sometimes we become too much inclined towards one versus the other. So Baba is saying, therefore, specially check whether you have contentment of the mind, that is contentment with yourself and contentment with others. The sign of contentment in souls is that they will be content in their minds, in their hearts, with everyone, with the Father, and with the drama. Waves of satisfaction will also be visible in their minds and bodies, regardless of whether any adverse situation arises, whether any souls come to oppose them to settle their karmic accounts, or whether some physical suffering of karma comes to the body. Because souls who are free from limited desires are content. See? No matter what happens, Baba has given us so many different examples. Whether adverse situations arise, whether any souls come to settle their karmic accounts, or it could be some illness of the body. You see, so a lot of challenges will come our way. But still, how can we remain content? Because souls who are free from limited desires are content. They'll be visible as stars sparkling with the sparkle of satisfaction. Those who are satisfied will never ask questions in any situation. When they are satisfied, they have no question. The sign of those who are satisfied is that they are always altruistic and always feel that everyone is blameless, that I can't blame others. They do not blame anyone. They do not blame the bestower of fortune for creating such fortune for them. They do not blame the drama, but that such are their parts in the drama. They do not blame any person that his nature sanskaras are like that. They do not blame nature that the sun's atmosphere is like that. They do not blame their bodies for their bodies being like that. I'll repeat this deep, deep stuff, okay? Listen to it. What Baba is saying, they do not blame anyone. They do not blame the bestower of fortune for creating such fortune for them. Oh, why my fortune is like this, or why this is happening. So they do not blame the drama that such are their parts in the drama. They do not blame any person that his nature or sanskaras are like that. They do not blame nature, the five elements of nature, that the atmosphere is like that. Why is it so cold? Why is it so hot? Why is it raining? Why is there snow? To be satisfied means to be constantly altruistic and to have an attitude and vision that are free from blaming anyone. So the speciality of the conference age is contentment, and the sign of contentment is satisfaction. This is the special attainment of Brahmin life. If you do not have contentment and satisfaction, then you haven't taken the benefit of Brahmin life. So beautiful. Baba says, even in this Brahmin life, if we are still stuck in discontentment, then we really haven't experienced the true benefit of the Brahmin life. If you lead a Brahmin life but do not experience the happiness of that, then are you only a Brahmin in name, or are you a Brahmin who is an embodiment of attainment? So Babdada is reminding all of you Brahmin children, you become Brahmins, and that is great fortune. However, the inheritance and property of Brahmin life is contentment, and the personality of Brahmin life is satisfaction. Never deprive yourself of this experience. You have a right to it. Since the bestower and the bestower of blessings gives you the treasures of attainment with an open heart, since he has already given these to you, then you have to experience your property and personality fully, and also enable others to experience them. Do you understand? Each one of you can ask yourself, in which number garland am I? You are all in a garland, but in which number garland are you? Acha. Om Shanti. Total contentment all the time. Do you experience yourselves to have become elevated souls who are spinners of the discus of self-realization? You have had a vision of the self, have you not? To know yourself means to have a vision of the self, and to have the knowledge of the cycle means to become a spinner of the discus of self-realization. To know yourself. This is what spirituality is about, truly knowing ourselves. That pop spirituality is not spirituality. We're sitting like this, meditating, which we see everywhere in the world. What it is this inner work, going within and truly understanding the self. To know yourself means to have a vision of the self, and to have the knowledge of the cycle means to become a spinner of the discus of self-realization. When you become a spinner of the discus of self-realization, all other types of spinning finish. The spinning of body consciousness. So, Swadarshan Chakradhari, sometimes we become Paradarshan Chakradhari. So the spinning of all types of other discuses stops. So the spinning of body consciousness, the spinning of relationships. So today in the morning, we were talking about what would be the spinning of body consciousness. What am I going to feed? How am I going to give it rest? All the comforts. What kind of clothes? What kind of shoes? Am I looking pretty? All of these things. This is spinning body consciousness, the discus of body consciousness. The spinning of relationships, the spinning of problems. Oh no, this problem. Oh no, that problem. All of those are the many types of spinning of Maya. However, by becoming a spinner of the discus of self realization, all these types of spinning finish. You come out of all types of spinning. Otherwise, you get trapped in the web. One time Baba had said this in the Murli, a slight reference of that even a spider has the intelligence of not getting stuck in its own web. And we human beings create the web and we get stuck in it. So earlier you were trapped and you have now come out. For 63 births, you continue to get trapped in many types of spinning. And at this time, you have come out of that spinning. So you mustn't get trapped again. You have experienced it and seen it for yourself, have you not? By getting trapped in all the different types of spinning, you lost everything. And by becoming a spinner of the discus of self realization, you found the Father, you found everything. So it is in our best interest to become spinners of the discus of self realization, not become the spinner of the discus of body consciousness, of relatives, of problems, and so on and so forth. So always be a spinner of the discus of self realization. Be a conqueror of Maya and continue to move forward. So all we have to do really is to turn our eyeballs inwards. Yeah, don't look at the external world, just look at yourself. This will be the way, the only way for us to become conquerors of Maya. Otherwise, we'll get stuck and we won't be able to move forward. By doing so, you will always remain light and not experience any type of burden. Burdens bring you down, but by being light, you will continue to fly high. So you are those who fly, are you not? Yeah, so at what altitude would you like to fly? High up, beyond the clouds, above the mountains? So you are those who fly, are you not? You're not weak, are you? If even one wing is weak, it will bring you down and not allow you to fly. So make both wings strong and you will automatically continue to fly. To be a spinner of the discus of self-realization. See, a lovely definition, if you will, of the spinner, or not really a definition. What would be the result of spinning the discus of self-realization? So what does it mean? It means to continue to fly in the ascending stage. Yes, so we will always fly high, and we'll keep on flying higher, ascending. Acha. To be a spinner of the discus of self-realization means to continue to fly in the ascending stage. All right. Acha. Now next, your Raj Yogis, elevated souls, are you not? From having an ordinary life, you have become easy yogis, Raj Yogis. Such elevated yogi souls always swing in the swings of super sensuous joy. Such elevated yogi souls always swing in the swings of super sensuous joy. Hatha yogis levitate their bodies with Hatha yoga and practice flying. In fact, you Raj yogis experience a high stage. By copying this, they levitate their bodies. So what do we levitate? We don't have to levitate our bodies, and we can't really. All that
I don't know if they are really able to do it or it's all optical illusion. But what are we levitating? Baba has said our stage, experience a high stage. But our stage is dependent on what? Yeah, on our awareness. That is, we levitate our minds. That's what a lotus flower does too. It rises above the dirty water, it levitates itself above the mud, uh, smelly water there, that is stagnant there. So you see, we have to raise our consciousness, levitate our minds, our intellects. So, however, wherever you stay in your high stage. And so it is said that yogis remain high. The place of the stage of the mind is high because you have become double light. In any case, for angels, it is said that their feet are never on the ground. Angels means those whose feet of the intellect are not on the ground, those who are not body conscious. Always remain high up, away from body consciousness. You have become such angels, that is Raj Yogis. You don't have any attachment to this old world now. So you don't have any attachment to this old world now. To do service is a different matter, but do not have any attachment. To be a yogi means the Father and I, no third person. So always maintain this awareness of being Raj Yogis, always angels. With this awareness, you will constantly continue to move forward. Raj Yogis are always the masters of the unlimited, not the masters of the limited. You have come away from the limited. You understand limited versus unlimited. We see the whole world as ours. Nothing belongs to us. That's one thing. So, unlimited from that point of view, too, that I have nothing, I'm zero. But also, everything belongs to me. The whole world belongs to me. You have come away from the limited, you have received unlimited rights. Therefore, remain happy with this. Just as the Father is unlimited, so too stay in unlimited happiness, unlimited intoxication. See, happiness is the best elixir of life. The happier you are, the healthier you'll become. The longer you will live, the better relationships you'll have, the more fulfilling life will be. If you go into Greek philosophy, ancient philosophy of the from the Greek times, I think Aristotle used the word eudaimonia. And we talk about happiness, right? Happiness is a simple word, but the real word is eudaimonia. So how do you truly experience that? What is that? What kind of happiness is that? One is this mundane happiness. I'm happy. And true happiness comes when you go beyond your limited constraints. When we live our lives according to the highest principles of service to mankind, when we are stuck in me and mine, then we cannot serve the unlimited. And if we can't serve the unlimited, we cannot go into the unlimited. And therefore, we cannot experience happiness, true happiness. So, eudaimonia is happiness because of a cause. You see? And the cause is service to mankind. Being of use for others. It's that true deep sense of fulfillment that comes when you have done something big, something good. We talked about this yesterday, actually, in the Murli, about contentment, doing nothing and still in bliss. Is that true bliss? You understand? There is this very famous sentence that was spoken by John Stuart Mill, a British literary. He said that Now, this is an interesting sentence. Think about it for a moment. Um, an unsatisfied man is better than a satisfied pig. I may have shared this in the past. An unsatisfied man is better than a satisfied pig. So now think of it. A pig is very satisfied. It lives in that dirt. Yeah, its stomach is full with all that dirt and it's in bliss. But you think of it, which is a better life? Life of a human being or life of a pig? Life of a human being. Now the next sentence. An unsatisfied Socrates is better than a Socrates was one of the main philosophers, the big philosophers. So somebody who's a very wise person. So an unsatisfied wise man is better than a satisfied man. So sometimes we are very happy with what we have, our nice pillow, our nice mattresses. We come back to our climate controlled rooms, houses, cars. We are having a great time. But you see, that day, yesterday, we were talking about this, that as you raise your consciousness, in a way, you would feel that you should become more satisfied. There should be more contentment. But actually, no, there is more discontentment because you realize that there is so much more to do. Let's say when you are asleep, you don't remember, you are not aware of all the different tasks that are needed to be taken care of. So you're in bliss. When you wake up, then you suddenly realize, darn, there's so much left to be done. Similarly, when you wake up, then you realize there's so much left to be done. There is suffering everywhere. I have to help that. There is so much that needs to be fixed within myself. So there's discontentment. So contentment of is not always right. It's not always good. There is foolish contentment and there is wise contentment. But between the two, there will be a big phase of wise discontentment. Understand this. Actually, one time long back, we were in the Peace Village retreat. Sister Moini had said that many years back, and I'm so glad she had mentioned this, that be content, but not too much. There should be some degree of discontentment because that becomes the fuel to take us to true contentment. That if you are really awake and aware that how messed up you are, you understand? In the beginning, wow, मेरे से तो अच्छा कोई है नहीं. I sat in meditation, I had a great experience. Lovely, everything is good. Then, as you awaken a little more, then you realize, darn, I have so much of work to take care of, inner work. So there's discontentment. Or as you raise your bar, there will be phases every so often, as soon as you raise your bar, that will take you through a lot of discontentment. But that is good. So let's say you are discontent at this time. There's another Baba's child who is in deep contentment. Doesn't necessarily mean that that person is at a better stage. So, like yesterday, we were talking about, let's say we both sit for math exam. Let's say you are 10 times better at math than me. But the exam paper is 100 times more difficult for you than for me. And both, let's say, get 70% marks. Does that mean that I'm as good as you? I'll repeat for everyone. Just understand this. Let's say you and I are sitting for an exam, math exam. So let's say you're better at math, 10 times better at math. but you get an exam paper which is 100 times more difficult than the exam paper for me. Now, it is possible that we may get the same marks, or you could get even lesser marks than me. Let's say you get 60% and I get 70%. So does that mean that I'm better at math than you? You got a more difficult exam. So not every failure is worse than a success. Sometimes failures, your failures could be way better than somebody's success. If that person has kept his bar very low, then he will say, oh, I'm doing amazing. But that doesn't mean that he's doing amazing. You keep your bar this high, that for the next 2 months, I should never get upset. This person says, for the next 2 hours, I won't get upset. And there is 100% victory in that. And he or she is on the top of the world. Now you keep this bar that for the next 2 months, I won't get upset. And in this, you could fail 10 times. But you are better off than this person because you kept your bar high. So you understand contentment, discontentment, success, failure, all of these things are relative and have to be understood very deeply. So have discontentment for effort, that I have to make more effort. I have to go into the unlimited. That I can't just think about me and mine. I have to work towards the larger good of humankind. What can I do? What do I have to do? And in that, as you raise your bar higher, you will not only be inspired to make more effort, but every failure that you encounter will only make you stronger. It will empower you. You see, failures can be very empowering. Successes are very inspiring, but failures can be very empowering. So that's why I always inspire people to push your limits, stretch your horizons. Try to break the walls that are surrounding you, because only then will you fail. And when you fail, congratulations, because that will then fuel more effort, and one day you'll reach the ultimate success. Samjha? So at the time of farewell to all the children who are blessed at Amrit Vela, please accept golden love and remembrance from the Father, the bestower of blessings. Along with that, to those who are always churning plans of doing the service of creating the golden world, those who are engaged with a lot of love and service with their hearts and life, those who are cooperative souls with their bodies, minds, and wealth. Babdada is saying good morning, diamond morning to all of you. Always be a diamond and take the speciality of this diamond age as a blessing and an inheritance. You will then remain stable in the golden stage, and you will also continue to give others a similar experience. So, a diamond morning to the double hero children. Om Shanti.